Hello, and welcome to the Logcast. I am your ever-faithful host, David Jones, except for last week, where I wasn't here. But I'm here now, and with me is Jephren Perez.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, how are you doing this fine week or day?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. How about you?
Yeah, same. It's the weekend, so always happy about that.
Indeed.
When I finally get to actually play games for like more than an hour or two a day, so can't complain.
Indeed.
So speaking of the video games, what have you been playing this week, Jeff?
What have I been playing? That is an excellent question. I think for the most part this week I have just been playing Yooka-Laylee, Rocket League, and I played Nuts and Bolts yesterday for a bit. I think that's pretty much it.
Not bad choices.
Yeah. It was, I don't know, I felt kind of, as I was playing through Yooka-Laylee, I kind of wanted to go back to basically that team's most recent foray.
Mm-hmm.
And so popped it in and been playing it. I mean, like, I play it every so often anyway, but I was really having a good time doing the Logs Lost challenges yesterday.
You're all about the nuts and bolts, so it makes sense.
Yeah. I got 4 more TT trophies yesterday.
Woohoo!
So I have, let's see, I had 6. So I have 10 out of the 12 now in the Logs Lost challenge. So that's pretty much all I have left to 100% the entire game.
That's the DLC, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, I've never actually done the DLC in that game.
It's not bad.
Probably
it
should.
Kind of just adds some challenges into the Mumbo test arena.
Oh, okay.
Mumbo's test track or whatever. It adds some challenges into there that are similar to the ones you play throughout the rest of the game, but some races, some fly through the hoops, some stuff like that, like stay in the moving box.
Right.
But they're pretty fun. They're not, it was one of those things where it was like kind of an easy DLC, because they didn't have to make a new world. They just added challenges into one they'd already built.
Yeah, I guess it's good for them. Kind of a shame they didn't do a little bit more, but...
Yeah. Also, I kind of had forgotten that Nuts and Bolts only had 5 actual worlds as well.
Yeah, I did not really think about that.
Because, a lot of people complain about Yooka-Laylee only having 5, but Nuts and Bolts only had 5.
You're trying to remember there, because there was Log 720, whatever the first one was called.
Yeah, Nutty Acres is the first one, which is like kind of this tropical island with a volcano on it. And then, there's the Logbox 720. There's the Gigaseum, the Banjo Land, and then it's like the Terrarium of Terror.
Right, yep.
So, but see, this one also has Spiral Mountain, which has some challenges on it, and Showdown Town, which doesn't really have challenges, but has like the hidden crates and some of the weird switches or whatever. Excuse me.
It's all right. I think I'll let it slide this time and excuse you.
So anyway, that said, what have you been playing?
Well, I finally completed. I mean, relatively. I hit the end credits in Yooka-Laylee by beating the boss.
Nice, congrats.
So yeah, it was a wild ride. And,
yeah,
good times. So now that was taken care of, I'm sort of circling back to some of my other games that I've like picked up but barely played. So I've been playing a little bit Super Bomberman R,
nice.
Binding of Isaac, and I just picked up Puyo Puyo Tetris for the Nintendo Switch, which is I'm getting so torn on it because the single player is so hard, and I've been stuck on the same level for like hours and hours and hours. But at the same time, the thing's so much fun.
Yeah.
So I might just suck at Tetris. So that's why. I feel like I always do better in the Puyo Puyo sections, but Tetris just destroys me for whatever reason.
Oh, I love Tetris. I played Tetris DS so much when it came out.
Mm-hmm. I used to play the original one a little bit, but
Yeah.
it didn't really super appeal to me that much as a kid. And it was like, oh, so this is the game I have to play, you
Interesting,
know.
because it's all like how you had on Game Boy.
Right, right. But I think it was like we had like remember we had two copies of it for some reason. I think because it came with the Game Boy at one point.
Right.
I think it was just like if I got really bored of everything else, I'd play it, or if my brother was using the game that I wanted to play, I was like, well, I guess I'll just play Tetris until he's done, that type of thing. But
Yeah.
it was fun enough. I actually enjoyed it when it was on the three. It was on the 3DS Virtual Console for a little bit, and I actually had it on my
Oh,
very first 3DS,
nice.
and then they removed it off the Virtual Console,
That's
and I
weird.
didn't transfer it, so now I lost it. I lost it forever.
Bummer.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Yeah,
So
I had
Nintendo, work
I
that
had
out. Get the original Tetris on the Virtual Console for Switch.
I had the NES version. I guess in college, I played that one for whatever reason. I think I got it after the DS version, just because I enjoyed the DS one so much.
Mm-hmm.
I had played the NES version as a kid because my cousin had it, I think. But yeah. Anyway, I love Tetris.
Yeah, it's good times.
I
Do you have
have
much experience with the Puyo series, or have you
no. I'm
just?
not super familiar even with what it is. Like I know the name, but I couldn't tell you
Well,
what
a
Puyo is.
lot of the ones that were actually released here were like rebranded with like other properties.
Oh,
So, Doctor Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine is technically a Puyo game,
okay. I haven't played
and
that
there's
one.
one for the Super Nintendo too. And I'm trying to remember. Maybe it was Kirby. Maybe it was the Kirby one. I
Okay,
played Mean Bean Machine more though. I know there's basically a version on it on Super Nintendo where they licensed some Nintendo characters and put them in it instead.
interesting. Okay,
Because yeah, try to make it, I guess, more appropriate for a Western
Western
audience.
friendly. Yeah,
Yeah, so and there's a ton of them that never came out here, so it was kind of unusual. And I think this one has been out in Japan for like 2 years or something like that.
interesting.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool that they actually localized without like changing a Puyo Puyo game.
Yeah. Oh,
So
cool.
good on them.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, I think that's about all I've really played.
Good deal.
Yeah, which is quite a lot for me. It's a variety. You normally only play like one game, and here I am with like four. So,
Yeah.
so with that being said, if Jeff doesn't die, let us move on to the news. All right, not much in the old mail or news bag today. I nearly said mailbag.
Yeah.
News bag doesn't
News
make
bag,
any
mail
sense
bag.
either. But only a few items really. First, Yooka-Laylee team did a Twitch stream with Gema Sutra, if I'm pronouncing that right, on Friday. I did not watch it. I remembered it was there, then I forgot about it. So,
Yeah, I caught the last 5 to 10 minutes of it. Really, it was for sure Gavin Price and Chris Sutherland. I think they said Andy Robinson was on there too, although I didn't hear him speak. So,
mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I mean they were just answering fan questions and talking about the game, so it was pretty cool.
Cool. So I don't know if we learned anything new from there, but
Yeah, we'll have to
I
watch the
imagine it's
replay at some point.
yeah, I imagine it's archived and be playable somewhere, so you can probably go check that out.
Yep. And the other news item we've kind of got, I guess there's a couple here, but for Sea of Thieves, the big thing was the video posted this week was on Friday, and it was Phil Spencer playing with the kind of some of the Xbox team and Rare team. Just kind of almost Let's Play style, but with edits kind of cutting between all of them.
Right.
It was pretty funny, actually. It was kind of just a quick recap. It was kind of Phil and the design director, Mike Chapman, and senior designer Shelley Preston on a crew. I'm trying to think who else. There's one other person. There must have been one other person on their crew. Who I can't recall at this moment. They were looking for treasure, and then all of a sudden they saw a ship in the horizon, so they went back to their ship. They engaged in battle. They then chased after the ship that kind of just did a drive-by, and then kind of cut over to another crew, which was like Joe Neat and some other members of the team, and they were engaging with another ship. And I think kind of the funniest moment of the entire video was as the other ship approached Joe's ship, they kind of battered them head on, and somebody was trying to board by jumping from one ship to their ship, and they just completely jumped over like the left side to the right side of the ship. It was hilarious.
It's the way you do it.
Yeah. So anyway, some pretty funny moments, some good gameplay footage, and Phil Spencer's just always entertaining to watch.
Yep, the Xbox overlord. It's kind of cool. I've always said that's one of the best things about Phil is that he actually enjoys video games.
Right.
So, whether you agree with all of Microsoft's decisions or not, at the very least, he's coming from the perspective of someone who enjoys the same things we do, and I really appreciate that about him.
Yeah. No, I mean, as far as corporate leadership goes, he's much more, quote unquote, from the community of gamers rather than some of their other people that they've had in charge of the division. So it's kind of cool to see.
Right. Yep. So good on him, and hopefully he will continue to make good choices with Xbox. So
hopefully so.
If not, we will burn him alive.
No.
We won't do that. We like him anyway. Okay. Next item is a very sad state of events or affairs. A weekly alpha session was canceled, and I assume this is the one that's on Wednesday.
Yeah.
That I never really play. But.
Right. Yeah. The weekly Wednesday session was canceled. They did give a bit of an explanation on their forums, but it was in the insider section, so I don't know that we can report on it. But they did tweet out that the session was canceled, so we can report on that.
It was canceled. It was sad, but if you're a working American, you're probably not big of a deal for you because the time is really optimized for the British fans.
Yeah, I mean in general.
Right.
But that's okay. It it's an alpha, and that's why they are doing an alpha, is to test the services, and sometimes the services don't always behave. So, they did the best they could and tried to get it going, and they couldn't quite get it going. So, always
gotta work out the kinks
next week.
Keep looking forward. Yep. So, that's our very short news segment today. So
probably the shortest one ever.
Shortest one ever, yeah. I mean, come on, we got through the introductions and news in less than 15 minutes. So
new
awesome.
Record. Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. Let's pat ourselves at the back. Okay. Moving on to our main topic. All right, and our main topic, like probably everyone else in the fan sphere right now, is going to be about Yooka-Laylee.
What?
Because that's a thing that came out, and it's like the talked about thing in the community, and we're going to definitely give it some good time, because I don't think we need to do a spotlight of like a 20-year-old game when we finally have a new one to dissect.
Right.
So
hasn't yet been talked to death, but we can try.
Right. We can try. We will turn Yooka-Laylee into a dead horse that needs beating or gets beat. I'm jumbling up.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one. Yep.
All right. So we're gonna start off. If I didn't already say, which I probably did, we're starting off with World 1, which is Tribalstack Tropics.
Yes.
And yeah, I guess we can just maybe kick it off with some, initial impressions, like how you felt when you first entered the level. I mean, we've all kind of seen it before, but just playing it for the very first time, like, what did you think, Jeff?
I really liked it. Obviously, it's the one they showed off the most, so I felt fairly familiar with it in that regard. From just a critical standpoint, thinking of how they start you off, they kind of start you off down in this little ledge off the main world, and they immediately require you to reptile roll up into the level. So you don't have that kind of first moment awe-inspiring view like maybe you had in Mumbo's Mountain the first time you played that, or you just kind of have that big field ahead of you, and you can see the little oh my god, I can't remember what they're called. like the little goblin-looking guys.
Corplet, or are they called? Aren't they called corplets?
No, sorry, I'm thinking Banjo, like comparing it to Banjo when you first spawn into
Oh,
Nimbo's Mountain.
okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
you don't have that
Sorry.
view of just kind of that field ahead of you and the path. And then the first level in Tui, you have kind of that path leading up to Mayhem Temple. And, this one, it starts you in almost kind of a claustrophobic little area and then has you go up into the world, which is fine. So as you go up, then, there's some corplets there and you can kind of see a little ruined temple up ahead of you. And it's a little bit of a different approach for the team, but I like it.
Yeah, I think my initial impressions, I was a little bit underwhelmed with this level, but then I ended up like really liking it, especially after the expansion.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I
What,
mean initially, because I
what
think
was
initially.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask what was the initial, like what was underwhelming initially? Is it just because you'd seen it so much?
I think it was part of that I was so familiar with it that it didn't have like a really kind of wow factor and sense of discovery,
Right.
considering that I've been seeing so many videos of it for like the longest time, and I was sort of a little bit self-aware of it, so I didn't like think, okay, this is a bad level, but I was like, yeah, I'm not quite enjoying this as much as I normally do when I get into a new world in this type of game.
Right.
So I was sort of aware of that, but sort of realized kind of the reasons behind it too. That back when I used to play this type of game, there wasn't hours of footage to watch of it beforehand. Right. So, yeah, that, and then we've all heard the music to this level, so many times over and over. And it was, I think I initially said this last time too, that I thought it seemed a little bit, probably just because the way this game is made, because there's so few levels. Mm-hmm. It was harder than I expected it to be. Not saying that it's really a hard level, but usually like the first sort of level in these type of games are just, it's easy. It's like,
right.
Just the collectibles are like everywhere with no effort, and at most there might be one or two that are like moderately difficult, but
right.
This isn't so much the case here. There was a one or two that were really easy, but most of them still made you do moderately difficult things to get them.
Very true. Yeah.
And I think too, like going right into what's his name, Nimbus.
Yeah,
the cloud. Yeah, I think that was the first one I got. So like off the bat,
that's a tough one. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I do like one of the hardest ones in the level because like, oh, there's a cloud right here. Let's do this one. So.
Yeah,
get
see,
that
I went
feeling
left, so I didn't actually encounter him till much later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but it was like an interesting way to kick off the level. I'm like, oh wow, this game might end up being, if first started, this is how we're starting. This game might be pretty difficult.
Yeah, there's several challenges that are up there, but
there are. I think on the whole, at least for me, maybe I'm better at this type of game now. I found it easier than it had been in some of the past games from these guys.
I would say in general, yes, but some of the things, yeah.
I found a lot of them too that I struggled with, which is because I had I was doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Like that one in World 3 that I was telling you about the other day. I didn't realize that I could use my tongue for something when I was trying to roll it.
Oh yeah, no, same here. I spent
hours
forever. I think you may recall in like our group chat, I like was typing in like just angrily like, oh my god, this stupid challenge in World 3, I can't do it. Blah blah blah. I'm sick of it. And then I figured out the tongue thing. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think this is going to be one of those games that's going to be. I mean, I beat it about maybe 20-ish hours.
Okay.
But I think once you know what you're doing, it's going to be you're going to be able to like cut that down to like probably under 10 to get through everything.
Yeah, totally.
and maybe even collect everything too. Because once you know what you're doing, there's things here and there that are really hard, but
right,
like the mini games and some of the minecart stuff, but
yeah,
for the most part,
things like the last quill that you'll search for like half an hour to an hour, but now you kind of know where that one is, and the rest you got just naturally by exploring.
But yeah. I guess that was kind of my initial impressions. So I was like, yeah, underwhelmed, but then I ended up liking, I remember I just got enough to move on, and then I got into, the next level, then I had that same sense of discovery again. that I didn't
Right.
quite feel the first time, and once I ended up going back to Tribalstack Tropics, which I'm gonna say right now, I think what I did was a mistake. I unlocked every single level before I would expand any of them,
Yeah, I did the same.
and yeah, and I feel like I might have lessened the experience of World 1 because there's so much that some of the later moves can do to kind of, I wouldn't say cheat in the first one, but make it a lot easier.
Oh yeah, and I kind of agree, but it's almost rewarding for being patient. But yeah, it's an interesting thing that you can do when you
Yeah,
have a certain move. Going back to World 1.
it's rewarding, for being patient. At the same time, I kind of wonder, what my experience would have been if I had unlocked it right away, and I
Right.
had to have, not being able to just. Well, I don't know if we should talk about moves that we get later on or not.
Didn't last week. I don't know what if it's been long enough time, or if we just want to wait till we get to a.
I don't know. Let's play for safe for now, I guess.
Okay, we'll just say a later move helps out tremendously in World 1.
Tremendously, yes.
Like ridiculously. Almost
But
to the point of like breaking design.
like the boss battle.
Yes.
Yeah, I felt a little bad about how I could, how easy the boss battle was without with that move. So,
But in all fairness, I did try it the way it was meant to be played, and I must have died like 10 or 15 times. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to see if I can use this other move. Yes, I can. And it made it super easy.
and the bosses in this game, some tough stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I'm trying to think if I struggled. The only one I really struggled with that I still haven't beat is World 5.
I have not done World 5 and World 4.
Let's see, World 4.
think-
Yeah, I did World 4. That one's actually really, really fun. It was probably my favorite boss.
Really, I absolutely despise that one.
Really?
That is the hardest one in the game, in my opinion.
Oh, no. The World 5. Have you fought the World 5 one?
I have. Maybe I wasn't as close to beating it as I thought. I did it and I was like, okay, I need to get more. I'll wait till I have more health and come back. And I just haven't got around to coming back to it.
Yeah, I've got full health, and I can get through the first two phases like no problem, and then like the third phase of that battle or whatever, I just I lose my whole freaking butterfly.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I just
think
suck,
it's-
but it's the controls that really screw
Yeah.
me for that one.
I guess why I don't really care for 4 and 5. Both 4 and 5 use non-standard controls.
Yeah.
But I really loved World 3 boss. It was probably my favorite.
Yeah, it was very traditional, classic feeling.
love
But we'll
that
talk about those more in depth when we get to those worlds.
Exactly. I'm getting distracted.
But yeah, this the one in this one, if you try and do it normally, basically you're doing the reptile roll up a hill, and there's like logs coming down, and it's like kind of opposite Frogger on a hill. And at first you can kind of just roll around them and get up to the top and then hit the Rampo's teeth or whatever. But then he starts rolling them like in a solid line. You have to like add jumping while going up a hill while reptile rolling with a limited power meter if you're not like later in the game. And it's it's a lot to handle, and I couldn't get my reptile roll jump timed correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I tried like maybe first couple hits doing it the right way before I used the move.
Mm-hmm.
But then once it's started getting to the point where there's just logs everywhere. Like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna take the easy way out.
Yeah, and what was frustrating about the design of the boss is like, if you get at least halfway up the ramp or further, and then you get hit by a log, you'll start automatically sliding down the ramp, and you will hit pretty much every log on the way down because you can't see them because it's a locked camera angle that is against you, so you can't see what's ahead.
Right.
So to me, that's a big flaw because that's just not fair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, said come back later with the move, and it's no problem.
Right. There you go.
Which is what I did, and I think when you have all your abilities, he's the easiest boss in the game.
Oh yeah, easily.
By far. So.
Like, by far.
Yeah. So if you can't beat him, just know that be patient, and you can come back later and take care of him easily.
Yep. So yeah, so the boss, that's just one pagey.
It's just one.
Did you have a favorite challenge or favorite pagey in the level?
Trying to think
Anything that kind of stood out? Like, I don't know. Did you like the transformation? Did you like that little quest? And all of the ejaculate jokes that came with it?
It was alright. It felt like, this is the first transformation, so it was nothing like too crazy. No, I enjoyed it well enough, but it was kind of more just like, oh, I'm just a flower, walking around talking to people and watering plants. So
watering.
Watering, yeah, whatever you want to call
it. Yeah, with your own. That was a weird transformation.
I enjoyed. I enjoyed. I mean, it's kind of, as in this one, another one of this was made too simple later on, but the one at the very, very top of the expanded world.
Yeah, that
you
one.
had to go all the way to Blasto.
Tough.
Yeah,
Wait,
that one.
At the very top of the expanded world, or the very top of the middle temple? Sorry, I was thinking of the one at the top of the middle temple. It was kind of hard.
The one you have to. Yeah, that one was kind of hard. One that it was made kind of. This is the one that I was kind of worried about being too easy with the. When you come back later, we have to climb all the way to the top and find Blastui.
Yeah. I didn't use the move to get up there, but I don't know. I didn't think that was too bad to get to.
It probably wasn't.
Because I don't think I used any of the later moves when doing it, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
But
good, you did it the right way. I just went right to the top. But I don't know. There's just a lot of. I eventually did kind of explore, around that area too, and it's just a nice little fun climb with different things along the way, including the minecart level, which I know there's some people aren't enjoying the minecart levels, but I've actually
that includes myself.
I've enjoyed, I think, all of them except for the World 4 one.
World 4 one. I didn't mind the World 4 one too much. I didn't love it, and it took me a long time to beat it. Pretty much all of them took me a long time to beat, except for the World 1 one. My biggest qualm is the controls, because you can boost or brake with your joystick, and for reasons unknown, even when I'm not touching it, sometimes I'll boost, and I don't know if it's just that my joystick is broken and just slightly off center or something.
Huh.
But
I've never had that problem.
Oh, it was really annoying. But also, there's a timeout on both of those, both braking and boosting. So a timeout on boosting makes sense, but when you're braking in the minecart, there's no reason why you can't just brake whenever you want. It's really annoying.
Probably just to give it a little added difficulty.
Right. And I guess you could say, oh, well, it overheats if you do it too much. So that's the justification. But it was really annoying.
Yuka is very weak. He gets tired. His muscles have to regen.
Yeah, he can't pull that. He can't pull the lever.
It's too hard.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't love them. I think the camera angle's a little weird, too, because it's not quite side on, and you can't really see that far ahead of you, and there's curves, so you really, really can't see far ahead of you, and I don't know. I didn't hate them, but I think Tropical Freeze did them way better.
Well, I liked them. I thought they were fun.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed the fact that hitting something wasn't an instant death, and you could, keep going and collect things.
That was nice, but
that's why I don't like the World 4 one, because there's just so many places to actually have to restart over.
Yeah.
Which I thought was annoying. As far as minigames go, I thought they were fun. The ones that were fun, I did not really care for the arcade games, which is probably the thing we can talk about in this level.
Yeah, we can talk about just this one, but in general, I didn't really like any of the arcade games. I don't think there was one that I was like.
Yeah, I didn't dislike them the way that some of the reviewers said.
No, same. It was a fun distraction.
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay, these are just kind of. And I was like, oh, these are alright, and I'm grateful that there's less of this type of thing than there was in DK64, so I guess they're at least learning.
Yeah.
Like one in every level, I think, was fine.
Yeah,
so I guess
it was okay.
I didn't do any of the high scores yet. So.
I would have rather them have done something like Klungo Saves to World from Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Something literally more old school and retro. The the fact that they went with mini games kind of similar to what they did in Tui, with just kind of like, there's bumper cars and there's the first person sections. Like, it's really like that, just tweaks on the existing engine.
I'm wondering if some of that was done to basically streamline the idea of the arcade machines and levels with having multiplayer content. Then they could do both at the same time.
I guess. I don't know. They're not bad, but it was like there was one, the World 4 one in particular. I really didn't like it at all. It just felt broken.
Actually, that one I didn't have a problem with, really.
Really?
I did that one pretty easily.
Jeez.
I didn't like the Flappy Bird one.
Flappy Bird one.
I think that was my least one. The one it's in World 5. That was my least favorite, I think.
Okay. I'm trying to remember.
I think the other ones were like, I think weren't, they weren't like big standouts where they're like, oh, okay, this is all right. I'll play through this, but this isn't like a real fun part of the level, but I'll get my PG and it's fine.
Right. There's one I played that I really liked. It may be the World 2 one.
That one was good. That one was good.
Yeah. So, but no, the World 1 one, it was fine. I mean, I didn't hate it like everybody really hates the World 1 one, it seems like, but I actually didn't mind that one. It was probably my favorite of all of them, or my second favorite after, if I'm remembering the second one.
I haven't done the high score for that, but if I might end up hating it after I do that. Like, my first run through was fine, but I think only because they give you so much time.
For World 1?
World 1.
Oh. Yeah, I got the high score on that one. It's not too bad.
Yeah, but it's almost like, I felt like it was almost impossible not to get the PG the first time you do it.
Yeah, no, you gotta really be bad if you, I agree.
Right. So, but I did not find it that enjoyable, and I feel like if I actually was forced to do good on it, I would probably end up hating it.
Yeah, I got the controls down relatively quickly, and by like my third or fourth time through, I got the high score. So it wasn't too bad. Let's see. So we've talked minecarts, we've talked Rextro. The other pages are kind of more standard, I think, just what you would have expected from the earlier works from this team. I guess there's one other mini game. There's one down in the basement of the Middle Temple where you're shooting ice crystals at like wooden signs. That one's a little mini gamey, but I still really enjoyed that one. There's a memory puzzle one, which is very much like stuff in Banjo-Kazooie where you like stomp the floor and try to match things. Whereas I'm thinking like there's one of the pyramids in Gobi Valley where you flip them, but there's fewer of them, but they're upside down. This one you can see them all, but you just need to like kind of isolate.
There's also Clara the skeleton, who's kind of like a recurring figure that goes to some of the other. I enjoyed her.
Yeah, she's kind of trapped in a boiling pot, and you just defeat the minions that kind of come out around her, and then she's a cool character. I would love to see more of her in future games.
Yeah, it's one thing I was kind of thinking about as I went through this. Was like, because they said that some characters that appear in this might get their own games, and I'm like thinking, wonder who. I think her would be one of my top picks.
Totally. Yep.
As well, there's some characters in World 5 that I think could make their. I won't get into that too much. If there's some characters that could be.
We can definitely go into that.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said that.
See, I've not really got like a lot of in-depth reviews yet because I've been still just experiencing it. So I'm kind of curious how much of the stuff that I liked other people are going to like and what I didn't like and whatnot. But trying to avoid it too much, and then a lot of people with really negative stuff just makes me angry. So, people disliking things that I love. How dare they have different opinions?
Right. Yeah. Excuse me. So, another mechanic of this world is it Nimbo is the big cloud, and you can shoot him with different things like fire, ice, or water, I think. No. Yeah. Yeah. And it'll make him change the state of the there's a riverbed kind of around the lower part of the level, and where you race the cloud at the very beginning that we were talking about, it's dry. But if you freeze Nimbo with an ice cube, he will make that riverbed into a pool of ice, and you have to race the little cloud again on the ice, and that was a tough one. It took me a while.
Oh, I have not done that one yet. I actually kind of I discovered that mechanic, but I didn't really find much use for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
about to
pretty much the only use.
Right when I sort of discovered it around the time where I got my 100 pages, and then as I was messing with it, I realized, oh shoot, I got the bubble now. Now I can go down and get that pagey that's underneath all the blowing. So that ended up being my 100th pagey. So I never went back and figured out exactly what that mechanic was for.
Okay, yeah. So you race the cloud again on ice, and it's much more difficult. It's not terrible, and especially if you do it, after you've played the game for a while and you've kind of mastered the mechanic of the roll. But like the roll is already a little loose controlling, which on purpose I think, but you add that to ice and it's just like, oh man, there's a corner right at the end of the race that it just kept screwing me over. I either rolled off and died or just got so far behind that I lost. So it's a good challenge. I eventually did beat it. It wasn't awful, but they again, another design flaw, I think, is that rather than giving you the option to quit and restart when you mess up, you have to let the other cloud finish. And, if you mess up early, you kind of just, you can keep racing, but there's no way to catch up to him. And then you just wait for him to cross the finish line. And then you have to go through all of the dialogue again. So it's kind of a bit of annoying.
There's a few things like that.
Yeah, there is. A lot of the challenges. Dialogue you can't skip. Yeah.
Another thing that seems like a really bizarre oversight is that there's no way to manually save at like this pause menu.
Right. Yeah, I really don't like that either.
I guess the majority of things save except for the quills. You got to remember, like, okay, before you turn it off, if all you've got is quills, you got to get something else.
Yeah.
Or you might have to go get those quills again.
Yep.
I don't know, maybe it's a little callback to how the note high scores in the first one.
Right, it's like a weird hybrid.
Yeah,
I don't understand why there's not a pause save feature, but
right,
or just a timed autosave like Nuts and Bolts or like Breath of the Wild.
Right, because I guarantee you that at least would eliminate quite a few people from getting that World 4 glitch that has not been fixed yet.
Right.
It wouldn't completely eliminate it, but I think a lot less people would have it happen to them.
Yeah, in theory, it should. But, let's see. What else about this level? So this level also has the infamous Shovel Knight, or maybe not infamous, but Shovel Knight cameo, the touted, probably a better word. And it's, it's not a major thing. They don't like dwell upon the fact that he's there. He's just one of many little challenges, and he wants you to go up to the top of this mountain and get some treasure.
Right.
And if you have that move from later in the game, you can scale the mountain pretty quickly. And if you don't, then it's a little bit challenging. You've got to like free some platforms and do some platforming, so not too bad. There's also a quill hidden very well in this area.
I wonder, I haven't got 100 or 200 quills in any world yet, so I imagine there's some that are just hidden really hard, because some of them are like, I'm like 4 away and I have no idea where they are.
Right, yeah, that's the worst.
Right. I'm hoping once I get all the pages is that I'll get, most of the levels I'll be able to, just find the quills, the few missing pages I have.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
There's some really bad ones in World 4 that are just single lone ones just out of the way that you really could miss easily. It's just
right, yeah, that's the one I'm missing. I'm missing 4 or 6 of them there.
Okay, yeah.
And that's it.
Have a hunch I might know where they may be, but yeah. But maybe not. Like you may have found those ones and not found some other ones. Who knows?
Maybe. You never know.
But yeah, that world took me a while, but I did get all 200 on that one eventually. But But yeah, so Shovel Knight has a little cameo in this level, and not too crazy. Just looking through all the pages. Some other ones, the pig missions. What I did those so long ago. I don't even remember what you do for them. Do you?
I remember talking to him, but I never completed what they wanted me to do. So that's another one that I'm missing there.
Okay.
I think I was supposed to find them. Maybe I don't know.
Is that what it is?
Because I remember I talked to Scoffs a lot, and then he was like, he told me to go do something with the other piggies, and I don't remember the exact details.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. It says Scoff-a-lot's Missing Knights. So, yeah, so you find the first one, and then he gives you a clue of where the next one is, and that one gives you a clue of where the next one is. So, that one was pretty fun, now that I remember. And then there was also one where there was a torn pagey and a cagey that you had to go find his pieces. That was fun too. Felt kind of old school.
It was fun.
Explore.
Yeah, I think it was one of the easiest ones in the level, though.
Oh, totally, yeah. I mean, without a doubt, because they weren't just all strewn about the level. They were all kind of within a pretty close location, and you could hear them. So, made it pretty easy, especially the surround sound.
Yep. And then there's a little ghost rider right in that same area too, the hidden one.
Yeah.
Who it took me forever to figure out how I was supposed to get those.
Oh. I feel like they had shown it in a trailer or something. So I figured it out pretty quickly.
Because I was just going around in my little ball trying to go as fast as I can so I could grab him when he appeared.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Yeah, him.
Because he'll flash into view for a split second and then be gone. Yeah.
Him and the big burly one, it took me way too long to figure out how to beat. Or collect.
Yeah. I do like the mechanic that you kind of have a different challenge for all of them, except one of them you just touch and get like a Jinjo. But I like that. That there's one that you have to shoot any of your projectiles into. There's one.
He's hungry.
Yeah. There's one that you have to sonar to kind of get him to appear. That's one we were just talking about. Then there's one that is aggressive at you and you have to kind of dodge him. And when you dodge him, he stumbles and you can collect him. He kind of changes green or yellow. And then, there's one more, right? Let's see.
Is it? Isn't that all of them? Because there's
regular,
yellow,
feed, dodge, sonar. No, there's one more.
The green one that kind of just runs from you?
Oh, yeah, there's one that just runs from you. Good call.
Yeah.
And that one's probably the one I struggle with the most because he's sporadic. He's not on a set pattern.
Yeah, he jumps around a bit.
But eventually I got it. I think there's only one world I don't have them all in. And I'm trying to think what that is. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, yeah, it was fun collecting them. It was a good challenge versus just getting Jinjos, And I'm sure if Banjo-Kazooie to Banjo-Tooie is any indication, perhaps the sequel to this, there will be bad Ghost Riders or rogue Ghost Riders that are essentially like the Minjos.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am super curious where Playtime is going to go next.
Yeah.
Even what the DLC is going to be.
I know, yeah. I'm really hoping for another world, but I don't know if that's wishing too much. But otherwise I really just don't know what they could do. Add another pagey per level? I don't know what they're...
I feel like another world is realistic. Maybe just maybe open up something in the hub.
Right, yeah, the hub has plenty of space to have another door.
I bet you it won't be something expandable, maybe. Maybe it'll just be a single...
Yeah, that could be.
A single tier level with maybe half normal, maybe only 10 pages. Just a little short thing to show off some new environments and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. And then, whatever their next game is. It really seems like the fan community wants either Diddy Kong or a Conker. I don't think we're going to get a Conker from this team, but could be wrong.
Right. Yeah, unless, they did it in conjunction with Gory Detail.
Yeah.
And they did both did a game together as kind of a spiritual successor.
Yeah,
I don't know if it would just quite
I don't know
work.
if they would do that. What I could see them doing is maybe the movie parodies like Conker, but not the grotesque vulgar humor. Like,
Right.
I could see them doing that because they already kind of spoof stuff anyway. I mean, even the
Yeah.
Banjo team had the Ginginator, which, was the Terminator, whatever. Like, so it's not like they're totally foreign to that. It's just kind of the vulgar, gross out humor.
Yeah, I don't think they would go. I don't even think Chris Seaver would go as far as he did back
Right.
then.
He said that.
If he did officially, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't think anyone expecting that type of game to get made that way is probably going to be disappointed.
Right.
I could see something thematically similar to it, but yeah, I don't. Stuff like the cog scene are probably going to be a relic of time.
Or the sunflower. Either of those.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't think that's all right.
Anyway, anything else from this world? I feel like we've kind of gone through the main stuff.
Yeah, we've gone through most of it without going, unless we're going to go through every page.
No, I don't think we need to.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do that. I think it'd be a lot more interesting for people listening to just talk about the gist of it in case they haven't gotten every single one themselves.
Yeah.
So, don't want to spoil things still.
There's always, in each world, a health expander and a power meter expander. I don't even remember where they were in this world, but I don't remember struggling getting them, so there's that. And then there's pirate treasure in every world, and I've not found it in this world, so...
Pirate treasure?
Hey, have you not heard of that? I may have messed that up for you. I'm sorry.
No, because there's nothing like that put on the select screen, so I was not aware.
But okay.
Now that I think about it, is that like what the toy box was pointing at?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not.
Because I remember the toy box had like a...
Yeah.
Told you where something was. I completely remember what it said, though.
It said to ground pound a rock next to a tree next to a, wrecked ship or something.
Mm.
And I spent forever trying to find it, and I finally did find it, but it wasn't where I thought it was. And that's all I'll say about that.
Okay. Does it give you, anything? Or is it just something cool?
Something appeared, and then when I tried to interact with it, it said to come back later. And so I still haven't really... finished whatever it is it's supposed to be. It wasn't interesting.
Still a bunch of things to dig up in this game.
Yes. So yeah, as far as the quote unquote pirate treasure, I have absolutely no idea what it does. You're right; it doesn't appear on any pause screen or stats or anything. So
stop and swap.
Yeah, it's got to be a stop and swap thing. It's got to be. It's got to be kind of something to put towards their next game or something like that, which would make perfect sense.
Yeah, I was actually kind of wondering if they were going to do something like that, and I was kind of disappointed.
I think we all were.
Anything yet. There's going to be some pointless item that we can collect that doesn't do anything.
Yep.
But
so
that's cool.
Anyway, yeah. So that's Tribalstack Tropics.
Yeah, it's a good level.
It is. It's nice, and I like the look of it. I like the aesthetic. I like how the lighting plays through kind of like the foliage and the rock faces and stuff. So
yeah,
pretty sweet.
I started out being lukewarm to it. Now I think it's one of my favorites.
Nice.
Probably my first. Yeah, world. The first two worlds I think are the best in my opinion. A lot of people don't like World 2.
Yeah, I like 1, 3, and 5 the best, which is more than half. But 2 and 4 don't really do it for me. They're okay. I don't hate them, but
we'll talk more about 5 when we get there. But I think I did. To me, I thought it felt a little bit lazy in comparison to the other ones.
A little bit, yeah. But I liked how it looked. Yeah, it's interesting. So, anyway, any final thoughts about World 1? Or we kind of covered everything?
It's a great world.
Yeah.
I love it. I love this game. You should buy it.
Yep, highly recommended.
Highly recommended.
It's got a few quirks, but it's definitely not a bad game.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a fan of this team's previous works, you should like it a lot.
If you played and enjoyed the Banjo games, Donkey Kong 64 or Super Mario 64, or even something like Jak and Daxter, if you played those and enjoyed them and wish there were more games like that, you will love this game.
Yep. But yeah. So
yeah, I think that's all I have. I mean, Without, as I said, really taking apart every single page, I don't think there's much more to say. So,
No.
well, I guess, unless you have any final thoughts at all,
No,
Jeff,
that's pretty much it. I think
Alright,
you kind of
alright.
summed it up.
Cool. All right, then I guess that'll be it until next week when we go through the controversial World 2.
Ooh.
I only say controversial because you don't like it and I like it.
Yes.
Alright, so make sure to subscribe to the YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, whatever word you use to do a thing on Instagram, probably follow.
It's follow.
It's follow. Sometimes I use that platform. And I think that covers it. Oh yeah, you should comment too. And we have an email address, and that's going to be in the description. You can read the description after you comment on our video and like and subscribe to it. And send us an email. Because we miss those. We used to get them, and now we don't. So send them.
Well, there you go.
There you go. So you guys have a great week / I don't know what I was going to say. Never mind.
Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, have a good one. Bye.
Bye.